Good morning. Today we have fantastic Saturday morning and we continue our historical review, historical stories. I remind you that I'm Irina Hehelska. I graduated from university as historian, and I decided to make some live video about Ukrainian history. I started from Paleolithic and I like it smart and continue it till our day. So now we in the 20th century, in the beginning of 20th century. It was a very important time for Ukraine because when Russia was destroyed, Russian Empire was destroyed, in 1917 Ukraine declared independent, and it was the great event because the first time all people, not only intelligent but also peasants, also workers, they feel themselves as Ukrainians. For my video, I took as sources different lecture, different video of Ukrainian historians, Ukrainian professional historians, and I would like to introduce you this man who is the teacher of history in Kyiv McGill Academy, actually in my university. In YouTube you can find kind of historical program. It's called History Without Brom. It's very modern like program. The idea is to show some positive moment of Ukrainian history, not only sad stories about how everybody fight against Ukrainian Holodomor and so on, but find some positive moments. So they invite their young historian who can share the idea. This man, he worked for this period, Ukrainian Revolution 1917-1919. So he can explain it very well, not only from books of history typical for school, but also his own opinion. So I decided to make some kind of review of his historical point as well. First of all, the reason why there was revolution in 1917, the reason was the First World War, 1914. This is my grandfather. Actually, the brother of my grandmom, Mitrofan Tretyak. Here on the photo, he is the soldier. I think even he was lieutenant or officer of the Russian Emperor army. He was taken to the army and he served there till the end, till the 1917. He got some medals. I don't know if you can see it. Here. This is, by the way, Georgievsky cross, Georgievsky crest. This is a very important emblem gift to the soldiers during the First World War. As I know, he served as a lieutenant in Western Ukraine. There were big battle between Austria. In that time it was after Austro-Hungarian Empire, and also between Russian. So he took Austrian lieutenant, he captured lieutenant, that is why he got this medal. The second time he woke up Russian army when they were sleeping, yeah, and Austrian tried to attack them. But he was from the ordinary peasant family, from the ordinary village family. His father was a farmer, and he was to just to work as many guys in that time. So during the First World War, many people who were peaceful life, they live in their village and never travel somewhere, they were taken to the army, and they have seen that they have something similar with Ukrainian, for example, in Western Ukraine, in the East, and they speak the similar language, they speak the same language. So they realize that they belong to one nation, to one people nation, yes. And it was the great impact to the mind of these people, and many of the soldiers support Ukrainian revolution. One of the ideas, investors, I don't know, of Ukrainian revolution was Mykola Mikhanovsky. This is his portrait. He also first was like a militarist, and after he became like politician and like philosopher. Before revolution, I think in the time of First World War, he wrote the book Independent Ukrainian, Незалежна Україна, самостійна Україна. In that time, it was very radical idea that Ukraine can be independent. Actually, Russian people didn't recognize Ukrainian as Ukrainians. They thought that Russia is the great Russia and Ukraine is the small Russia. So we need to fight for our identity, for our recognition. His book was very popular, and he was spread among different people, and had the big influence to the people mind. So here you can see Ukrainian demonstration in St. Petersburg. In 1917, in March 1917, it was a very bad time for Russian Tsar, because he was dethroned by revolutionaries, by radical people, and St. Petersburg got so-called temporary government. And Ukrainians decided to make Ukrainian government here in Kiev. Many Ukrainian towns also cooperated, and they got more and more, they created Ukrainian authorities. They told that we would like to be Ukrainians. When I was at school, I make searching about my church in my village. It is ancient church from the 19th century. So one old woman told one sunny spring morning, she and priests from this village and many people, many families came to the regional center, and there they pray for independent Ukraine. The idea of independence of Ukraine was so strong, and it was so spread around that even priests, even people who supported Russian emperor, they started to support Ukrainian idea. Even Ukrainians who live in Russia, they started to recognize themselves as Ukrainians, and they asked to have their own authorities, governmental organization. So you can see here the future parade, the huge meeting in St. Petersburg, organized by Ukrainians. Here you can see "Нехай живе Українська Центральна Рада", glory to Ukrainian Central Parliament. So it was the huge demonstration, and Russian people have seen that there are Ukrainians. In that time in Kiev, there appeared so-called the Central Council of Ukraine, or Центральна Рада. It was headed by this man. You can see him on Ukrainian money. His name is Mykola Mikhanovsky. We can call him the father of Ukrainian nation, because first of all he was historian. He wrote the history of Ukrainian Rus. He wrote the first fundamental book about Ukrainian history. He used different sources from the old time. Now these sources, many of the sources are destroying, so we can find information just from his book. As he was very popular figure, Ukrainians decided to see him as a president. Mykola Mikhanovsky was able to explain why Ukrainians need separate state. He told that we had the great period of Ukrainian state building. First of all, it's Kiev Rus with princes. After Cossacks with Bogdan Khmelnytsky. We also had Ukrainian uprising in 19th century. And Ukrainian language is different from Russian, from Polish language. So we need to build our own Ukrainian state. He was supported by many young people, militarists, patriots, intelligence. One of them was Simon Petlura. Probably you know about him. He became the Ministry of military ministry, I think, because he headed the state army. When Bolshevik came to Ukraine, he organized army against Bolshevik in that time. How Ukrainians felt about this idea? What ordinary Ukrainians thought about parliament, about Bolshevik, about national Ukrainian idea? Here is one of the oldest photos from my village. This is church choir. All these girls and guys, they were singers in the choir. And for example, this man, he had a very good voice, and he headed this choir. Now his ancestor, his descender, his grandfather, son, is famous singer, opera singer in Ukrainian theater in Kiev, and he know abroad. Igor Burko, you can find Igor Burko. He really great in singing. So people were joyful also about Ukrainian movement, about Ukraine. Many of these girls and guys, they started to take part in some kind of the art, Ukrainian art. They started to play in theater. They started to play Ukrainian drama, some scenes, nearby church, and showed to the people Ukrainian culture. For people, it was people were happy because in time of Russian Empire it was forbidden even to speak Ukrainian in theater. So people support it. But in 1918, in January, February, the Bolsheviks came to Ukraine. They organized a kind of alternative government in Kharkiv. There became like Bolshevik government, and they started to fight against Ukrainian state. For Kiev, it was the very bad situation because every month the government changed. Ukrainian government was too weak in that time to control the situation. Gradually, little by little, the Bolshevik conquest the country, but this conquest took for them many years. Till the end of 20s, many Ukrainians were against Bolsheviks. They organized groups, they organized military groups, they came as partisans to forest. Just in the time of Stalin, he pressed all these people, and in 1930s he organized Holodomor, he repressed people, and so on. So what we got for these 3 years? 3 years of Ukrainian independence. If you read Ukrainian history, it told that these people who organized Ukrainian state, they made different mistake, that they didn't organize economy of the country. They needed to give land to the poor people and so on. But we understand that these people, this Ukrainian state, it was very young. People just realized that they are Ukrainians. They just started to realize this. And it's really good that these people fought for their state, for their idea. Because when Bolsheviks came here and they have seen how people fight for their idea, they decided to give Ukraine some kind of independence. In 1921, Lenin proclaimed Ukrainian Social Republic. Yes. If not these people, if they didn't fight, he just put it inside of Russia. It's little Russia. It was before. But he gave to Ukrainians some freedom. He recognized Ukrainian language. He organized schools for people, especially for poor people. So it was good in that time. Many Ukrainian artists, Ukrainian writers, they work in that time, and it was like period of the Ukrainian revival. Yes, from 1921 till 1927, I think, when Lenin died and Stalin came, and Stalin understand that need to make the industrialization, that need to press these people, because Ukrainians wanted more and more. They wanted to have more freedom. So such story about Ukrainian revolution, about the first Ukrainian state, and And hope to see you next time, and we will discover the next period of Ukrainian history. So thank you for watching and have a good weekend.